The process I had asked you to guess was making blue jaws, Dukunu, or banana tire leaf, and to a lesser extent boya in some locality. So we look at three different stages. The pre-preparatory stage where we do the peeling, then we have the preparatory stage where we do the grating and so on, and we have the stage where we demonstrate, where we make portion out, and then we would have made a banana tile. Look carefully, ensure that you take note of the different stages. Again, you can put your little twist to it, but pay keen attention to why I do what I do. Okay? Here I'm going to begin with part of the preparation. So we have sweet potato, white variety, and we have an orange variety. We also have some green banana peeled, and we have coconut. So that will be the base of us making the Dukunu, or the blue jars. So I will get my containers and my equipment for the grating. So this is my container for holding the material that I'll be grating, and this is the grater, whole Jamaican grater. So I will start with some of the sweet potato and I do a mix. You have to be careful and concentrate well, or else your fingers will be grated into this mix. These potatoes are fairly fresh, and the fresher they are, it is easier for them to grate. Again, some persons, if they have the electric grater, then that would have been so much faster. But we don't want to blend to have the unnecessary liquid. Just showing a part of this preparation process, I will do a little from each group so that we all see what is to be done. And again, when you use the variety, the sweet potato variety that is yellow, you get that nice color. But the older people tend to use the whiter variety because it tends to get bluish or darker when you finish the grating. And I'll do one of the orange variety. This is one of the newer variety. We have a new one we refer to as beer guard, an American based variety with some whitish skin, and inside is peach. It's nearly peach or orange. Again, men are colorblind, so you decide what color it is. When I'm through with this, I will do a few fingers of the green banana, which I have peeled, and you would have seen it in that pre-preparatory stage. Again, if the potatoes were older, they would have been more difficult to grate. Concentrations have to be top notch, or else fingers will be grated, or your nail, worst of all, and that I tell you is really hot. So I'm through with that. Some of the little edging, I'll put them one side, so I will go with the sweet potato, right? And then now I have started with the green banana. And the green banana tend to give that distinct flavor with the banana leaf that I will show you how we go about it. Some persons do it differently, but I am giving you my perspective. So whatever you get here is Malachi's perspective. And again, this is a little bit slippery, so we have to be very careful as we grate. When you grate, you try to grate in one direction. Sometimes when you grate like this and bring it back up, you may slip, or your finger may be slipped onto the grater, and that can be great pain. Right? And a whole lot of blood being spilled because the body gets hot real fast. So this is the green banana, and later when I start the incorporation, you will see all of the ingredients, or the grated ingredients, being mixed. So I have done a few banana. I'll do a piece of the coconut. I will not do all the coconut. I will leave one piece to be blended so I can get some juice from it. So I'll use the real coconut juice instead of using the powdered coconut juice or coconut milk. So you have to have some of the coconut in it, and this adds to the fiber in the meal. Again, some scholars have postulated that the blue jars came from Africa with the slaves. But again, your guess could be as good as mine. Chances are later I can say something else as it regards to this. But you have this dish, this sweet dish, steamed dish, being done in different countries by different names. So you may have the name Dukunu or Dukunu, based on where it is. So like in French Guyana or Guyana, they have those names in Antigua, in that region, and you'll find it somewhere in Barbados. But you have variation, like in Mexico, you have the variation that we call tamale, where they use the corn husk used to sort of do the same sort of folding and putting the mixture in, and at the end they steam it and use it as a staple. And there are different types, some may be sweet and others may be savory and spicy. Meat could be added to it. But in Jamaica, blue jars or Dukunu. At one point, I heard the name boyo too, different terms that they use, and you'll have a variety of things being added. You may have even yam and dashin. In different locality, persons add what they have. So while I was growing up, this was being done every Easter and every Independence. We normally say 6th of August Independence. So a whole lot of blue jars would have been made. And sometimes it is made when there's a whole lot of corn. And again, part of my theory, I think the whole world was one. Because if this thing was in Africa and it is used mainly with cornmeal and sweet potato, and yet these two main ingredients, the corn and the sweet potato, it has been said that they originated South to Central America. So you do the reasoning. So I would have collected the banana leaf. I'm going to pass it over two of the burner to sort of get them quail both sides. Another alternative, some person would pass the cut leaves in boiling water. Again, a varying option. Again, when it is burned, you have that stronger smell from the banana leaves. So I'll run it over so that when I use a knife to cut along the rib, I will get a nice clean cut instead of having each piece of the leaf or each blade of the leaf being torn. Alright, so you get a better cut. As soon as I'm through with this, I would have it washed. Then I will cut it into the size that I would want to make these blue jars or Dukunu. So I'm going to use part of this stem too. Also I'll add part of the chunk. So I'm quailing a part of the chunk because I'm going to cut it up in strips, and this is what I'm going to use to tie each one of the blue jars. So some person even refer to the blue jars as tire leaf, banana tire leaf, from the banana leaf or the chunk of the leaf that we use to make these sweet treat or so-called African sweet treat. So I will use part of these. At this point, I'm going to blend the remainder of the coconut. Remember, I did say the remainder of the coconut will be blended, so I could have some coconut juice. So we have it all natural, so I'm going to use my NutriBullet. Have it done in a short time and well refined. So I'm going to add my coconut. That's the remainder of the coconut I was using. I'm going to add some water. I'll get some water to blend the juice out of this coconut. So it's not a whole lot of juice. So I'm going to blend. area dry using electrical appliances. Remember safety first, so I will do my blending. Seems like it is cross-threaded. Try and get it done well. And I will blend. Again, I will not allow it to run continuously. Let it cool a little and then I allow it to run. Right, that should do it. About the appliance, and I will strain to get the milk from. So I'm using a large strainer there. Extracting the juice. Let it drain. A little water. I'll pour to get rid of as much of the milk from the coconut as is possible. I'll use a spoon to squeeze out that excess milk. And again, you can always reuse. Remember, we have to reuse or extend the value of some of these products. This coconut, I just remove some of the milk, would be used to make other products. Right? So I will put these aside and continue. So that would have been the milk. Let me remove these. So this is the milk that I'm going to add to the mixture for the blue jars. Here we go. We are going to start the process, or I should say the demonstration. You can see some of the banana leaf that has been quailed. I'm going to put on my food grade gloves. When you're doing stuff like these, that your hands have to be integral in the process for persons to consume. You have to put on the right things. So this is food grade, and these can be had online. And use them to prevent your hand from getting too messy. So I would have put them on. I'm gonna bring back the potato and the other ingredient that I would have grated earlier. Now we're gonna add some stuff to these. I'm just sort of get all the ingredients, the banana, the sweet potato, the coconut mingled. So next I'm going to add some cornmeal. And again, the amount of cornmeal that is added depends upon you. Cornmeal tend to make it a little bit tough when it is cool, so it depends on you. Again, some persons use the grated corn. So you can use some amount of cornmeal. Yeah, some persons even use flour. Right? I think that should be good. Place it over here. I'm going to bring out the sugar. I'm going to add just a few spoons. Potatoes are fresh, so they are not as sweet as. And again, we have to watch our sugar intake. So I'll put just about 3.5 spoons. That should be nice. Again, we can always add. Right? I'm gonna add my nutmeg at this time. This is my nutmeg. I'm going to grate. So this would have been my nutmeg container. I'm going to grate some nutmeg inside here. And you can do it liberally. Again, if you add too much nutmeg, I think that's a poor one. Let me get one that I was using. Again, if you put too much nutmeg, it tends to get bitter. You don't want it. I'm going to grate my nutmeg. Alright, don't want it to get bitter. So I'll grate my nutmeg, replace it in the container. And as you use these utensils, you put them out of reach. Here I'm going to add small amount of salt. Again, too much salt again can affect your health. So we want it to have some taste. Not too much, maybe about half of a teaspoon. Right? So you want it again, then I'm going to mix. And mixing this, I'll add the coconut milk. So I want to get fair amount of mixing in. So I'm going to add my coconut milk at this time. Remember, we have this blended. Add all of it, all natural. Get that out of the way. Also, again, then I'm going to add my vanilla. This choice flavor, I'm not advertising, but I tell you, this is quality. That's about 2 tablespoons. And I'm going to go in again and mingle. And to have all of the ingredient mix out as smooth as is possible. Again, what some persons do at this stage, they add maybe a little more water. Cold water, that is, but I tend to add a little hot water, and the little hot water tend to make it a little softer. So I would have been boiling some water with some cinnamon leaves, so as we can get a little cinnamon flavor infused. So we'll get that now and have it added. Again, you can see the cinnamon leaves, so I'll add a little to it. I don't want it to become too soft. Go in again, digging, it's a little bit warm. Again, you have to be careful that it's not too hot. Okay. Not looking bad, and I tend to even taste this ingredient. Ensure that everything is well. We'll do well with a little more sugar. I'll add just about maybe 2 more spoons of sugar. That would have been good to go. Very good. Let's say maybe a pinch of salt. Again, experience will help you here. Pinch of salt. I think I'm good to go. Get those out of the way. And this is my final mix. So what I'll do here when I mix, I'll let it stay for a little while. Some persons, what they will do, and sometimes I do it, I shape out the amount that I'm expecting to get, so I have a better understanding of how many I will have. So I will shape them and place them on this cover here, so I know exactly how many. So what I'll do, I'll let it sit for a while I check on the pot that I have on the stove top. And that pot would have been boiling, because we'll have to place them in boiling water. It is sure is getting ready to boil. I'll place them in that pot. It's covered. At this stage, I'm going to start the shaping. And we don't want to make them too big. I'm going to shape the amount, not too big, so we have an idea of the amount that we will get. About 1.5 handful, depends on the size of your hands. Again, I tell you, I can smell the vanilla in these. That's the flavors together, very important. few of them in, not too bad at all. Like I will get how it's going. Around 7 so far. Another one for 8. Seems like I will get maybe about 10. The last one will be a little smaller. Smaller sometimes, you know, when you're making dough, you may have to pinch from here and pinch from there. And even from here, you do your little pinching to make up the final one. So here we have, I think we will get 10. So here we go. I'm gonna start the process. Here is my banana leaves, and based on the size, I will make some nice sizable tier. So I'll make, this is 1, and here we go. So I'll take the first one, put it on. Again, you can put it that way, but I prefer to have put mine this way. So I sort of make a little shape, and I take one side of the leaf and I fold it over and I make a complete turn. Looking nice. Then I will fold it under, and I let it rest. So there goes one. Take another piece, go for another one, have it shapen, and again you can always manipulate how you want it to be done. You can turn it crossway, or you can have it full. I turn it again under, and I let it rest. So I will tie them all at once. Remember, this would have been washed. So I'll go for another one. Okay, like to turn it that way. Let us go, and we'll have a few of them in no time. And here's another one. I think I can turn it cross. So again, the choice is yours when you are making them. And some persons use plastic bags. Some person use foil paper. But again, the choice is yours. If you want the flavor, then you would have to use the banana leaves. Some people use even plantain leaves. So again, if you have plantain leaves, that could be used. So I'll fold, and I'll fold. I think we are going good. 1 to go. Yeah. Last one. Yeah. Tell you. Again, watch us. We fold. Let me bring it up somewhat. I'm not sure if you're seeing it so clear. Let me bring it up a little. Move that away. So we fold. And we fold again. That's a whole lot of. We wrap it under. There we go, the last one, so we can tie. Yeah! Know that we can tie now. Well, here comes the tying. This would have been my bark. And I'm going to start from up here. And I put one on it. And please watch carefully. So the string, I will cross it. We make like a bow. We'll bring it over. Again, it depends on the length. So you can even bring it again over, and you make a tie. Tight enough, but not too tight. And then you could use, if you have a pair of scissors, and I don't have one nearby, you can use your knife to trim or your scissors to trim. I'll put it back on my tray, and I'll move to another. Let me get, I like to get the long ones. Long ones tend to be better. Let me cut here, and I'll go again from the top. And we go and we wrap. Once it is long enough, we can fold it under, bring it back, and try and create a little, like a little tie. Right at the top. So that one breaks. So I have to bring it all the way back over. That is the good thing when you have long strings. Alright, so we cut again through now. There's this one there. We go for another. And again, when we use the strings from the bark, it tends to be a little firmer when you make that tie. Take the knot out of the way when you make that tie. Alright, so here we go. I think we will wrap, tie. You may want to have it secure enough so that when it goes into the pot and the water start to boil, we don't have it coming apart. Here goes the finished product on the demonstration. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we have 10. And this 10 I'm going to move them now to the pot. I'm going to take off my gloves. Soon I will place them in the bin. So follow me now. Go into the pot right here. Have the cover removed. I'm going to place them in. But I've placed some cinnamon leaf inside there, and some of that flavor will go straight into these blue jars, or Dukunu. Again, you have to ensure that you have one of these in your repertoire. Different colors, but blue, there must be a blue jars. Right? So there you go and placing them in. And after placing them in, I will let them stand for about, once it starts to boil, I will allow them to stay for about 45 minutes once they start to boil. So as soon as they start to boil, I will place the lid, and yes, it's on its way. Later you will see the finished product. You can see the pot boiling, or in Jamaica we say bubbling. So I give it about 45 minutes maximum. I want it to be well cooked. 30 minutes depending on the flame, but 40-45 minutes would have been great. Right? At a boil here, sweet Jamaica. Yes, it's part of our culture. Blue jars, Dukunu, banana tire leaf, or boyo, whichever way you want to call it, or Dukunu from the French Guyanese. The blue jars would have been now finished. Just have a look. Pot is steaming. I'm gonna take out one so we can have a look at it. Then I will flip it. You can see in part of the sweet meat being exposed. There it goes. Beautiful. Nice color. Again, while I place them in the water, a little salt was added too. So I will get rid of this. So back I will have him cut too, so you can have a nice look at it. And I'm going to nice little cut so you can cut a piece to have a look at it. I'm gonna dip it in that tangy tamarind sauce. Alright, so it's nice and tangy, and I'm going to have a nice little taste. Very scrumptious. And it's so moist. Not tough at all. I told you that the warm water would have made it a little moist. Go ahead and try. Tell me how your one turn out. Please ensure that you subscribe to this channel. I appreciate all the persons who have been following, who have been subscribing. Thanks very much to you. Until the next time, see you again.